So we are learning about JavaScript loops today. In every programming language, you're gonna see the loops, right? The concept is same. The logic behind the loops is same. When we need to do the repeated tasks, something need to be repeat over and over, right? Until the condition is true. I'm talking about the condition, okay? So let's look at some definition and then we're gonna go through our exercise. Loops are used in JavaScript to perform repeated tasks based on a condition. Conditions typically return true or false, right? Condition. When you add condition, okay, something is greater than, let's say 5 is greater than 6, true. So as long as number is greater than 6 or 5 is greater than 6, as long as there is true, loop will be keep repeating the process. The process, whatever the code, right, will go inside here. This code, that is the process or the code that need to be run. Okay. So how this is the formula of writing loops, right? Initialization, initial value of your condition, initial value. Now you check, right, that you compare that value here, and final expression means this final expression. Why we call final expression, right? Because this final expression will always execute after this code runs. Okay. So initialization means you add some initial value, you put the condition here, so this condition will be true or false. So as long as this condition is true, the code inside will run. That is all about the loops. Okay, here is the initial value, this is the condition, that will be boolean value, true or false, and this will run the final expression, right? Final expression means after every time this code runs, in the last line this will run. Okay, so let's look at the example and we will go through, right? So in our exercise here, so loops, as I said, repeat something, right? Repeat something. So in our folder, in the class folder, you're going to find a loop exercise loops. Inside there, I'm going to create this file, snippet1.js. So here a underscore loops, right? Let me change the name. Okay, let's copy the code. Fine. So if you look at this JavaScript code, the first line will be console log hello. That is first line, right? This code will run this one, basically print hello in the console. Now for the loop turn, so how many times this console log code will run, how many times it will repeat? See, start from 0, right? The timing initial value is what, like timer, like start from 0, this is one time. Then and you checking, right? And also look at here, what is this initialization? Where you can initialize the value, right? In a variable, correct? Initialize means you creating a variable and store some data there. So data will be mostly number, right? This number, okay, all the time, because we need to repeat, we are counting something over and over. So start from 0. So I is 0 right now. Let I equal to 0. So value of I is 0. Now when you call the I, right, you calling 0. 0 is less than 5. What we can get? True, correct? Then the cursor will go here and it will print code. After that, cursor will go here and it will do I plus plus. I plus plus means what? I equal to I plus 1. Means this variable you calling I equal to I plus 1, right? Basically you increase the value of I by 1. So now I become 1 here, okay, right? Now it says 1 is less than 5, true. Again, it will print code, okay? Then again, what happened here? I equal to I plus 1. So this time, the value of I is what? 1, right? 1, because you see 1 here. 1 plus 1 is 2. So I become 2 now, correct? That means 2 is less than 5. Again, it will compare. Yes, it will print this code in the console. Again, I plus plus again here. So this time I is 2, correct? Now let's click here, 2. So 2 plus 1 is 3, right? So I become here 3. Now 3, compare now again. 3 is less than 5, true. Again, it will print code. After that, again I plus plus, this code runs. That is 3 plus 1, 4, right? So I become 4 here. Again, check 4 is less than 5. Yes, that is true. Again, it will run this code. Then again I plus plus. So 4 plus 1 will be 5 now, right? So I is 4 and 1, because we adding 1 every time to I, okay? To the value of I, that is 5. Now I become here 5, right? So it will check 5 is less than 5, and that is false. The condition return false. So this code will terminate now. No more. Once you get this condition false, the loop will not enter inside, okay? It will not go inside here, right? It's done. Next, it will just jump here and console log goodbye. So that's how loop work, right? I hope that is clear. And because this is, this is a variable, right? You just see something like this. But remember what happened in the memory, right? When this for loop runs, there will be a variable I created, and that variable will be keep changing all the time, right? Because how it will know, right? When it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, what is the last value of I, so that it when increase, it will change 1 plus this I value, right? And add that, just update the new value, whatever is the new value. Because if there is a variable, remember memory is created. There is a memory, initial value is 0, and in every loop, right, it will update. As long as this condition is true, the loop will be keep repeating. So always remember, when you enter the for loop will always complete the whole cycle, okay, before it will go to the next code. That is the logic behind, right? That is what you have to understand. You enter the loop, that will do the complete cycle, means it will run until this condition is true, and finally when this condition become false, the loop terminate, means it will stop running. It will just go here and print goodbye, right? So let's run this code and see what happened. F5, and I will run. So see, it prints hello, and then it runs this code 5 times, right? Because if you count, 0 is 1, 0, right? 0 start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means basically 5 times, from 0 to 4 is what? 5 rotation, right? And when I become 5, that is 6 rotation, but the same time the condition is false and it is stuck. That is all you have to understand. So please go through this, understand the logic, right? And same logic apply in the loop. That is all you need. Okay, once you understand that concept, good to go. All right, so let's go to the next one. I will create snippet 2.js. So now you understand how loops work, right? Look at here the condition. The initial value is 3, and this 3 is less than equal to 7. So you just count, in your finger, right, or your calculator, how many times this loop will run. Okay, I mean, it will print high, then the loop start. So 3, right? So 3 is the first time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Because 7, when I become 7, 7 is less than or equal to 7, right? It will run. Okay. So when you running for the seventh time, basically from start from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? That is total 5 time. Okay. And when I become 7, it will still run because this condition is true. And I plus plus, in that time the I will be 8, right? I become 8. 8 is less than equal to 7, and false, it will stop and just print console log by, right, high. And this will run 5 times and also by, right? But this time when you're running the code, right, you're going to see console log I also. So let's see the value, right, how it work. Okay, because right now I is 3. What I said, after the last line, right, only the value of I change here. So I will be I plus 1. After printing this, until now I is 3, but from here I become 4, right? Next time it will be 4. Clear? Because you just added 1 to 3, right? There was 3 and you added 1. So I mean, and this happens automatic, right? So you don't have to do anything. This code, just remember this expression runs the last line. Okay, so let me put here 3 and run this code. All right, so let me expand this and I'll show you now. So high, right? See, oh, what I did, I don't know, I just make something wrong. Debug terminal, I don't want all that. Right, let me fix this. Okay, something I can, okay. I don't know, just make it mess, right? Let me pause. All right, so let's continue. So if you look at here, right, when we run this code, it will print this high. That is first line of code. Loop start, I is 3, that condition is true. Then console log program and I, right? So it will print program and I, program and 3. Next time again, because I become 4 now, program and 4. I become 5, again program and 5. I become 6, program and 6. I become 7, program and 7, right? When I become 8, because while running this code, in the last line, again I plus plus, so I become 8, and this condition become false, and it will terminate, right? It will just say bye. I hope, if I have to just put it again, right, same thing, what I just explained in the last one. This is the code, correct? Console log high and here, right? So how exactly things happen now? For example, let's say I will just write it, right? For example, if I have to create the memory box right here, this is our code to execute, right? Global execution context, this created. Okay, so this is a variable place, and this is code to execute, right? Just code to execute. So right now, when this whole thing, you see there is no variable right now. Okay, there is no variable, right? I don't see any variable in the global. This whole thing is a global context, right? Global. Okay, means this whole thing is global, right? You have first one this, then for loop, and then this one, right? So we don't see anything. Okay, let's make this here. I will just make console. Okay, console, right? Console log high, it will print high. Okay, Now for loop run, right? So for loop will enter to our call stack. Remember the call stack. We're still gonna talk about call stack. I mean, in the details, but just remember here is the only where code runs, right? And this for loop will enter to call stack here. This is a global execution context. This is the one, this box, what I said, this one, right, is inside here right now. You have console log. So console log is, it is the first line to run, right? It will print high, correct? It is in the high. Now for loop run. So just remember, just imagine the for loop is running right now. Okay, for loop is running right here. What happened? The I, right? I memory is created. Just imagine I is created here right now. I is 3. So what happened now? I will check, right? This condition can check here. I less than equal to 7. So 3 is less than equal to 7, correct? That is true. I will just put true t here, right? T. True. True means the code will go inside here and it will run console log program. So program printed and console log I, right? So 3 printed. Now after that I plus plus. So I equal to 3 plus 1, right? So this, see, I mean, all this running here inside it. Okay, it's running here. Just imagine it's running here, right? So now this become 4, right? I become 4. Okay. Now again, I become 4. What gonna happen now? So because I is here 4, I 4 is less than equal to 7, true. So here is 4 checking, right? 4 is less than equal to 7, true. Then again, it will run. It will just go inside the console right here, inside the block, and it will run program and 4, right? 4, and then I plus plus happen. I plus plus happen, right? So next time I become 4 plus 1, that is 5. So it will change to 5 here in the memory, and it will compare again. So here will be 5, right? 5 comparing now. 5 less than equal to 7, that is again true. Then you go inside the block here and you run. I'll just write here, okay? Program and console log 5, right? You did that. After this one, this I plus plus happens. So here is 5 plus 1, that is 6, right? So the memory will change to 6, correct? I change to 6. Then again it will compare. 6 is less than 7. Here will be 6 because I is 6. 6 is less than equal to 7. Yes, that is true. Then it will go inside the block and print program and 6, right? It will print 6. Okay. Now I plus plus. So now 6 plus 1, that is 7. So our I in the memory becomes 7, and we compare again 7 less than equal to, because this time is equal to, so that is still true, right? So it will go inside the block here, console log program. So let's write it here, program, and that is 7, correct? And then I plus plus again, right? So here 7 plus 1, 7 plus 1. So let's remove this. That is 8, right? So I become 8 now. 8. It will check 8 is less than equal to 7, that is false, and this code stop running, right? And it will go here, console log finally will be by, right? B-U-B-Y-E, by, sorry. This will run. So start with high and the by, right? So once that is finished, right, this whole thing will be deleted from this call stack. Everything is cleaned up. It means our whole code has finished running, right? I hope that is clear now. So always remember, when you enter the loop, this loop must complete before it will move to the next line. That's how the code works. All right, let's go back to our exercise. So that is what happening here, right? So I hope now this will give you the good idea how loops work. Okay. And okay, so let's move to the next one now. What is the next exercise? Snippet 3. So all this snippet, you just run the code and check, right? Try to understand what is happening. Okay, so now we know how to write function, right? So loop can run anywhere, okay? Either in a global or inside the function. It's okay, does not matter, right? Always remember, loop will have the same behavior, okay? Same, the way you create loops is same, and the way it will run is the same. There is initial value, it will make a comparison, and then you changing the or updating the value, right? Variable, okay? You can, when you update means what? You can even reduce or you can increase. You can reduce by 1, 2, 3, does not matter. You can increase, right? You can increase by whatever number, does not matter. Based on our requirements, we can set up these things, okay? We can create the condition, the situation, right? So that the code inside will run based on these conditions. Okay, here, right? This is the comparison, but the whole things makes like a kind of a set, right? The way it will, the way you can create these things, that many times it will run. Okay, so see, this loop will only run when you execute the function, right? Every time you call this function, what happens? This will run. So now you define the function once. Why we put some, why basically why we need function, right? The function is the logic which you can define once and use it many times, correct? So that's how things work. So let's go back here now. So foo is a function. Console log begin, right? Foo will begin. This will print first, then it will run this, then it will run this, and then it will run again this, right? But remember, when you call this foo function, what happens? This for loop will run, right? Because you have the code inside the function is loop. Now remember, when the loop runs, what's gonna happen? It will complete the whole cycle, okay? That is the point, right? So the number is 10 and you're reducing by -2 all the time, correct? -2 means next time will be 8, next time will be 6, and next time will be 4, 2, and 0, right? So as long as this number is greater than 0, this is the condition, number is 10. As long as it is greater than 0, keep running this code. So if I run this code now, let's see. So so 10, first time is 10, the next time reduced by -2, 8, 6, 4, 2, right? And 0, when num becomes 0, right? Last time it will be 0. 0 is greater than 0. 0 is greater than 0, false. So it will stop running. So it will begin, start with the begin, right? Let's go back here. Begin, run this code. So here is begin, then run this code, then end, and run this again. So end and run that again, right? Same thing. So that's the reason for loop, for loop, right? Or function, basically function. When you add some code inside the function, every time you call the function, that code will run. You define once and use it as many times as we need it, right? So I hope that is clear. You just need to practice, right? Try to understand this logic, okay? How you can construct the loop. You can start from 0 value to go upward. Maybe you can do from top to bottom also. Like the number is very high and you can reduce down to the 0, right? You can do that also. So this is all about writing the logic based on our need. So sometimes you will be find this useful, this way, and we'll see, right? In the exercise, you're going to find some problems. In that case, you're going to need this situation also. But anyway, let's continue. As long as you understand, right, how these things work, the loop, okay, the logic here, initial value, comparison, and update. This is increase, maybe decrease, whatever, right? So, and as long as this is true, this code will run, and every time this code runs, this will make change to the last line. That is all you have to remember. Okay, so next exercise, I mean, this is all the same, right? Snippet 4 will be same thing. Now here I'll just explain quickly. Okay, let's copy. Okay, I mean, same means, but there is a different situation, right? So I think better to explain in the code here. So in this code, what you see, right? The variable word, and there is some string like street. Okay, this is a string, correct? So we know how to find the length of the string, right? Because if I ask you to print all this string one by one, like STREET, right? How are you going to print? So just imagine, right? And also we know this index is 0, correct? The starting is 0 in the string. We know that already. So that index will be very useful for us now. Let I equal to 0, and how long, how far I have to go? Length, word dot length, right? So remember, the length is always more than the index. If this length is 1 2 3 4 5 6, this is the sixth length, right? But the index of the t will be 5, because length minus 1, remember, that will be the last index. So as long as I is 5, right, this is 6, so I have to say I is 5. As long as I is 5, from 0 1 2 3 4 5, that condition will be true, and I can get index. And how I can get the this each character? Word square bracket index, correct? That's how you read. So first time will be 0. This condition is true. It will print 0, and it will print, for 0 index you have this s, right? So word I means 0, I is 0, so you get first one. Now I plus plus, now I become 1, so next time it will be still, 1 is less than 6. This is 6, true. It will go here 1, and word I, that is 1, right? You get second one, 0 index 1, that is t, so you get t. So similarly it will run until the last index here. See, so no matter how big is this or how lengthy is this string, right, the last index will be always one less than the length, and so this condition will be satisfied, and it will be keep looping, until the last index, and you have that character. So that's how things work with string. Okay, you can loop through the string and get each character. Okay, all right, so if I run this code, see now, 0 index you get s, next time will be 1 index you get e, next time will be 2, you get r, right? 2 is r, 3 is e, and 4 is again e, and 5 is t. So 3 is e, 4 is e, and 5 is t. And when I becomes 6, 6 is less than 6, false, and it will stop. Good to go. So let's look at the next one. And once you understand the logic of the loop, right? Loop is very useful in programming. One of the, you know, without loop, right? How you gonna do something repeated work? Something need to be done 20 or 120 times or millions times, right? You're not gonna write million times code. Just write one time and loop it, and let the loop do the work for us. For example, right? This is a ray. Okay, let's say this ray has millions of objects. Okay, and each object is what? Student information. For example, let's say this array is a school, right? And the school has a student, and now you're gonna have each student inside the object. If you need to print the information of each student in the website, you're gonna do one by one? No, right? Just write one line of code, loop it. The first time you're gonna get this, second time this, third time that, and all that will be printed in the website. So you'll see all these things later, right? All right, so let's go back here, snippet 5. And so now this is a variable in global, right? Outside of for loop, correct? Right now, total is 0. Very easy. We know that variable. Okay, now the loop start. I mean, this is just a variable, will be 0 in the memory. Total equal to 0 in the memory. This loop start now, right? 1. So 1, I is 1, I is less than 5, true, right? I plus plus will happen at the end here. Okay. So what is doing now, right? Your I is 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it will go until 4. When I become 5, it is stuck. But every time I is added to this. So if I said, right, add the number from 1 to 5, just sum the number, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can start from 1, and you have variable outside here. Because why we put outside, right? Because everything here repeats, so you don't want total to be 0. If I put 0 here, let's say if I put this 0 right here, now in the loop, when I is 1, this will be 0, total is 0. When I become 2, again these things will repeat, this process repeat. So you don't want 0, right? You need to be outside somewhere where it will stay as it is. Okay, 0, whatever you put here, it will be stay there. So you add 1 first time, then next time you add 2. So for example, you just added 1 first time, right? Next time become 1 plus 2, right? Next time will be 1 plus 2. Okay, that is 3, right? Next time will be 3 plus 3, because here it changed, right, from 1 to 2, 2 to 3. So 3 plus 3, that is 6. Next time it will be 6 plus 4, right? 4, because I become already 4. So that is 10, right? So in the final value, you're gonna get 10. So console log total, right? So I mean, even you see now that because this loop is running as long as this condition is true, you are allowed to print this total all the time, right? So let's look at how it works. Okay, so F5 and grand total, right? Final value here. After this loop is finished, you're gonna go here, and you still have the total value in the memory, no? So you're gonna print that. So let's run the code. So see, first time is 1. I said 1, right? First time is 1. Second time is 3. Remember, 1 plus 2 is 3. And 3 plus 3 will be 6. And 6 plus 4 final will be 10. And when I become 5, 5 is less than 5. That is false, right? And it will stop. And then finally, after this loop is done, you go here and print total, right? Total. So total is still 10. So that is what we get here. All right. So yes, in the beginning, it will feel like funny, right? Who has not done the programming before, but try to understand. Okay, just understand the logic, right? The logic behind. Just take time, put in the paper, right? Just write down how these things are changing and how these things repeat all the time. Just do a couple of exercise, right? Like play around, and then once you understand the concept, you know that will be fine. After that, things will be okay. So let's now, right? It's time to exercise, write our own functions and all that. 1 to 4, it says create a 1 to 4 JS file and solve the following, right, below. So let's do that. 1 to 4, that is the file name. It will be fun now, right? Fun. Okay, so write a function 1 to 4 that print all whole number from 1, let's see, 1 to 4. So it says print all whole number from 1 to 4, right? Inclusive. So you also need to print 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Inclusive, okay? This is important. The function takes no argument, means the function does not, we don't have to pass anything here. So let's write. So this is you calling the function here, okay? So what I will do, const 1 to 4, right? And then function like that. So it says function do not take any argument. We don't have any parameter, so we don't have to put any parameter. Function just need to loop. So I'll write for loop. So start from 1, right? Print whole number from 1 to 4. So my initial value is 4. This is variable, okay? You can put num, whatever, right? Doesn't matter. Then in the line, okay? And then I will check if I is less than equal to 4, because inclusive 4 also. So I must be equal to 4. You can do that, or you can put here 5 then. If not, you just put 5 here, right? So when I become 5, it will stop. But as long as I is 4, that is true. So I must start with 1, right? 1. So I will keep it 4. Okay, let's equal to 4, right? When I become 5, 5 is less than equal to 4. That is false, and it will stop. So I plus plus, right? Okay, now what should I do? Just printing, right? Print the value of I. So console.log I, and that's when I call the function. Every time, when I call the function will run. It will execute this loop, and the loop, when loop start, it will complete the whole cycle. Means it, loop through the everything, and that is what we get. So run the code. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Very good. So we have many more here. 1 to 4, count up. Let's do one more, right? Let's do one more. In this video, I will record another one, right? This will be too long. Count up. What is saying, right? Write a function count up. It takes the argument, right? You look at here. The function takes something, some value, okay? So we have to accept that. That accepts a max number as an argument, okay? The function should print all number from 1 up to and including max. You must print until max, right? So this functions become more dynamic now. I mean, you can add whatever max number, like say 10, 20, 30, right? Just call the function, you pass the max number, and our loop will just run until that max. So it says function does not need to return any value, just print, right, in the terminal. So const count of equal to functions has an argument, so we have to call that anything variable to grab it. To grab this number or store this number, we need a variable here, that is parameter, right? Because in the parenthesis, function has parenthesis, and if you add something, that is parameter. So for loop, now again, let I equal to from 1, right? It says max function should print all from 1 1. Okay, start from 1 as long as I is less than equal to max, up to max. Okay, I plus plus, because this max can be 5, next time is 3, next whatever you put it, this loop will run based on this max number. Just console log now, console.log I, done, right? So save and run this. You see, first time is 1 2 3 4 5, right? And 3 will be start again 1 2 3, because we include equal to max also, equal to max. So all right, so let's stop here for now.